What's going on? This is Zach Adelstein with Daily Edge Sports, and today's a great day. I'm recording this on Thursday. I have Boise State and South Florida on in the background. It just started a few minutes ago, and college football's here. Again, one of my favorite times of the year. I love this time of the year. We have 5 straight days of football, and yeah, if you haven't checked out our videos this week, we had a video for Thursday, had a video for Friday. We're going to be going over Saturday's slate today, some prize picks, pick 'em picks here. And yeah, there's some huge games this week. I think it's one of the best week ones I can remember. We have Texas, Ohio State this week. We have Clemson, LSU. We have Notre Dame, Miami on Sunday. Bill Belichick gets to go on Monday night again. Feel like the old times with North Carolina. But yeah, let's get on into it. But before we do, if you have not been in Daily Edge Sports yet, if you're not a member, you need to head over there for all your daily fantasy pick'em needs. We have a very active Discord there. Everybody's always making picks of their own. We're giving out picks every day. Have a ton of staff members with all kinds of experience in different sports. WNBA has been huge this year. We have um, soccer, baseball, NBA is going to get going soon. We have esports, everything you can imagine, we have in there. We also have some of the best tools in the business. We have our custom projections, our plus EV tools, our demons and goblins tool is constantly hitting, especially basketball, WNBA. It is making people a lot of money. So if you have not been there yet, you need to get in. Help all of our players. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Um, let's go over this Saturday slate. There's some really nice plays I like on here. There's gonna be a lot more dropped in Discord. So again, if you're not over there, you need to get over there. Um, and yeah, get on into Daily Edge Sports. So yeah, the first place I'm gonna go is kind of a different get place with all of these different plays. I'm gonna go to Chandler Morris under 299 passing yards. Chandler Morris he's coming over from North Texas. He was at TCU before this. He had some huge games last year, but he was regularly throwing it for 40 to 50 times a game. Last year at Virginia, they threw it about 30 to 35 times a game, and most of their passes were pretty short. I believe it was about 20% behind the line of scrimmage, about 40 to 50% in that low range up to about 10 yards. They only threw 30% of passes more than 10 yards down the field. They don't have a great receiving core right now. Malachi Fields left. They're kind of rebuilding. They constantly feel like they're rebuilding over there at Virginia, and I just don't love this spot. I think they're also going to try to get their ground game going here against Coastal Carolina. They have NC State next week, so a much bigger game next week. I do think Chandler Morris is going to be an improvement there. I think he's going to have a good season there. He's just not going to throw it nearly as much as he was throwing it. It is in a total different offense than he was in last year when he was going for 350, 400 yards a lot of times. Next place I want to go is one of my favorite players this year, somebody I think is going to be a household name before the end of the season. That's Antonio Williams. I do think you can kind of look at his receiving yards, but I want to go to this 3.5 receptions line. They also do have a 4.5 line and then 5.5. Get 5 receptions. He's still a goblin. 6 is a demon. But this 3.5 reception line, he went over in his last 7 games last year. Had at least 4 receptions in each of the last 7 games. He averaged 9 targets a game in that time. He is easily their top wide receiver. I think he's one of the top wide receivers in the country. He should be a Blitnikoff finalist this year for the top receiver in the country. This is a big game, week 1 against LSU. It's really big for both of these teams, especially if they're looking for at-large bids into the playoffs at the end of the year. This is a game that everybody's going to look to. LSU is a good team. They had the 95th PFF graded pass coverage last year. So they're an SEC team, but they really struggled in the secondary. One thing I'm going to be looking for, especially on PrizePicks, is for his fantasy score to drop. Want to see kind of what that looks like. I do think that's something I will go over. With the scoring system they have, and I think usually they don't drop wide receivers too high. That's definitely something I'm going to be looking for later in the week as well when that drops. Going to go to another wide receiver here. Another big game this week is this Texas-Ohio State game, number 1 versus number 3, number 2 in some polls. I'm going to go with Ryan Wingo over 51.5 receiving yards. I think you can look at that 3.5 receptions here as well. But Ryan Wingo is the clear number 1 receiver at Texas. They lost their top receivers last year. All went into the NFL. Golden left. And they're all, for the most part, they're all on rosters now, all on NFL rosters. Ryan Wingo was one of the top recruits in the country a couple years ago. Class of 24, he was, I believe, the number 32, 33 recruit. Just one of the top guys in the country. Been watching him. He played in all games last year. Made some amazing plays last year. Really got it going. Got to work with the twos last year with Arch, which is going to help him a ton this year. And yeah, I think they're going to look to him early and often in this game. Another thing at Ohio State is it's gonna be interesting watching their defense. They lost 8 starters on defense as well as their defensive coordinator. So they have a very inexperienced defense over there. Wingo's also had a huge fall camp. They had a scrimmage a couple weeks ago. He had 3 touchdowns in the scrimmage. Yeah, they're gonna try to get him the ball a ton when they're not running the ball. I think that 3.5 receptions is good, but I really like this 51.5 yards here as well. They do have some of these goblins, these demons and goblins. I think you can mix and match some of these goblins in with some of these players that have some, high upside with some of your other plays just to get some double up, some good value there. But yeah, I think that's just something you can look at right now that is really good on prize picks that they have. Last play I'm going to go to on this slate right here for this video is another receiver. I'm going to go with Quasi Gilmer over 42.5 rushing or receiving yards. So UCLA kind of had a lot of turnover. They lost their 2 top receivers last year, 2 of their top receivers, and Logan Loy and J. Michael Sturdivant. They both transferred. Had the big deal in the spring with quarterback who's going to be the quarterback. Nico Yamaleva came over from Tennessee after the whole thing with him not getting paid. There was a lot of drama with that. I'm sure it went into the locker room, but I think that kind of can rally a team as well. Uh, outside noise can really make a team kind of stick together. And there's been a lot of talk over the fall camp that Gilmer's had a huge fall camp. He's talked about wanting to win the Biletnikoff, bring it to the UCLA for the first time. I think they're going to try to give him the ball a lot. This game is at UCLA. Utah is they're playing Utah, who's a 5.5 point favorite. So I think they're going to have to really air the ball out to kind of stay in this game, keep it going. And Gilmer seems to have a good connection with Nico. But yeah, I think those are 4 plays I really like on this slate. There's going to be a ton more plays. This is going to be a really big week. There's so many good games this week, so many good lines, so many good lines still to drop. Like I said, I just watched South Florida kick a field goal going into the second quarter. I'm so excited for this time of year. We're going to be putting out videos as much as we can for college football. I hope y'all are enjoying them. If you're enjoying them, send us a like. Subscribe to this channel. Keg is putting out videos every day. WNBA, he's killing it in WNBA. He's going to be putting out some college football videos as well, and definitely putting out a ton of NFL content. So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. If you haven't come over to Daily Edge Sports yet, come over, get in. We are going to have a big year. We're so excited with what's to come this year, and we hope to see you there. See y'all on the flip side. Peace.